you can make them regret giving you unlimited alcohol.
Realistically, you're only going to have a few glasses of wine, maybe a few beers a night. It's not cocktails, it's not top shelf liquor, it's very generic red and white wines. That's all they give you, so that paired with snacks and food you get throughout the day, what does that really add up to? $150 maybe? You can stay in a suite at the JW, hire your own driver to take you to the parks, and buy several full bottles of top shelf alcohol for less than it would cost you to spend one night in this room. Now, others correctly asserted that you're paying the high prices for the close access to the Magic Kingdom. To wrap this whole review up, that is really what you're spending so much for. It's the convenience.
Yes.
But I guess you then have to ask yourself, is the convenience really worth it? I mean, my god, you spend a full week here and you're getting close to $10,000 if you include park tickets, Genie Plus, and resort parking. Which, by the way, despite spending $966 a night, Disney still does.
The thing is, like, I don't, like, to a certain extent, I don't really get it because people pay so much for convenience. Like at the Disney parking, like regular parking is like $35. Premium or preferred parking is like $50. But the thing is, it maybe saves you like 3 minutes of walking. Like realistically, it's kind of variable based off of like where like they're parking, but like realistically, it only saves you a couple minutes of walking. And some people pay like $15 to avoid like 3 to 5 minutes. That's crazy.
Charge you for resort parking. But I suppose it'll all come down to what matters to you more. Do you care about the absolute fastest way to get to one of the 4 parks in Walt Disney World, or do you care more about the quality of where you're putting your head down at night? And really, regardless of what type of room you're staying in, it still comes in at a high cost. While those lower level rooms are certainly nicer, even at the lowest tier over in the Garden Wing still comes in at around $530 a night in the off season. If you want to be facing the theme park, expect to pay not much less than $800 a night. Now that's before any promotions and discounts Disney usually offers, so those are just rack rates. But regardless, this is all for a hotel that Disney clearly thinks is completely passable and is worth its ultra luxury price point category.
Yeah,
the
it's
renovation in the lobby should have absolutely extended to the rest of the resort, and whatever you may think of the Incredibles integration in the rooms, at least they're modernized. They definitely look cheap and they may not fit into the overall design language of the resort, but then again, what even is that anymore? As for our room, it was clearly thrown together by a designer who does not care. And whether it's...
Yeah. If I would do this, I would add like a cover to the lights, something Incredibles flavored. Just add a little bit more. And even then, it wouldn't be red. It would have to be another color because there's not much red in here. They're going for like a more gray and black aesthetic. So if anything, I'd probably do one more thing on the lights just to make it so like there's a little bit more something. Because right now you only see it's just like the mode in the back and then the three posters.
As for our room, it was clearly thrown together by a designer who does not care. And whether it's a factor of budget cuts or a simple ignorance to their highest paying guests, this experience is a complete joke. There are so many other hotels in the area, even many more on property, that far surpass this in quality and theming. So let's give this an actual rated review. I'm calling it Jake's Is It Any Good score, and it's based on 5 different categories, which are rated out of 10 for a possible perfect score of 50 out of 50. We'll start with location, and obviously this is Contemporary's strongest category. It's super close to the Magic Kingdom, but you have to take the monorail to switch at the TTC if you want to go to Epcot. Everywhere else requires a lengthy bus wait, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Amenities are pretty solid as well, with 2 pools and a decent selection of mostly mediocre food and beverage options. The fact there's a rooftop observation deck is great, along with nice lake views around back. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Luxury/quality is severely lacking here.
If I'm filming this and I'm looking for like shots to put in the video, the funny thing is of just like moving the light left and right, that's making the video. That's just funny to me.
with no discernible ultra-luxury elements in their rooms other than perhaps the beds. The rest of the resort, while nice, does not invoke a sense of luxury, at least not in the way it's priced or marketed. It's a 2 out of 10. Service is something Disney has always exceeded in. We met some friendly cast members and received a kind anniversary gift, which is appreciated, though some made us feel a little out of place, which I suppose we were. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Finally, there's value. Regardless of the perks, the combined value of a few snacks, a glass of wine, and a Spring Hill Suites room is nowhere close to what Disney is asking for it. It's an easy 1 out of 10, only saved by its great view and location. And that brings the total score to 23.
What I will say about the Disney service point that he brought up, in my own experience, I found that cast members, employees, I'm getting in their language, they tend to either they'll be really cool, or they'll be whatever, or they'll be bad. Like, there's just, like, realistically, I will like say it's all over the place, but I feel like you could put every cast member into like a zone, and they just stay in that zone. You know, like in parking, there's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 people. I'm like, yeah, you will not have a good experience if you're interacting with them. But I can look at everybody else and be like, yeah, that person's good. Yeah, that person's like whatever. You know, this person's introverted, you know. So I would think, honestly, because I'm saying that in context of parking. When it comes to a hotel, I would imagine that most people would be good to okay. Just because they're in a very like customer service facing role. So I'm kind of surprised he only said 6 out of 10. Because I imagine they would like really screen for like good and okay employees. Because in the parking structure, you get a bit of everybody. So you do get the bad eggs. But in here, I'm surprised that they even get any bad eggs.
Out of 50. Contemporary is a fine place to spend time. However, unlike its name suggests, the resort is ironically stuck in several different decades with clear neglect by Disney. That wouldn't be such a problem if the property wasn't treated and priced like an ultra-luxury resort hotel, it being one of the most expensive in Florida. With a rich and fascinating history behind it.
See, when I see this, if you guys ever saw Narcos, I think this is the scene where like the Narcos boss gets murdered in, or like the Narcos boss like owns the place.
It's a shame the building has fallen into a state like it has now, and it's pretty egregious what Disney is charging for rooms here. In my opinion, there are much better places to stay around the area, and unless Disney wants to seriously make a competitive club-level product, this will always be a disappointing experience. My name is Jake, and thank you very much for watching.
Thank you for your service, Jake. I was talking with the cast member yesterday actually, and we were talking how essentially when it came to Walt Disney, like he basically turned his complete imagination into reality. Like he made all of his little doodles and ideas, and then he put that on a TV, he animated it, and he made literal lands that people could experience like the vision about what he thought about in his head. It's really amazing if you think about it, because without Walt Disney, right, coming up with the original like idea and all that, dude, this castle is a result of Walt Disney's imagination. Also, you know, a bunch of people working for him, but like he really started it all. That's crazy. Like just imagine you're Walt Disney, and all this is a result of you, like kickstarting everything. That's crazy. That's pretty wild.